Hello there beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking you through exactly how I reflect on 2024 and plan the new year 2025 in order to achieve my goals. I did it this year and it just occurred to me that it's really good. I have made a document where you can download it in the description of this video. So you can go and get your own copy, download it, print it off and do it yourself, or you can just follow along with this video. But either way, I highly recommend taking some time to reflect on the year just gone and to plan the one to come, because if we don't, what can happen is that life just happens to us and before we know it, 10 years have flown by and we're like, how did that go so quickly? I love taking the opportunity of a new year to really pause, reflect and try and be intentional about the things I want to see and experience in my life. Without further ado, let's get into the video. The first thing I like to start with is reflection, because it's one thing to know where we want to go, like the things we want to see in our life in 2025, but it's just like going somewhere via Google Maps. In order to know where you want to get to, you have to know where you're starting. What happened in 2024? Where is your life right now? What is going on? And sometimes it's very easy. I definitely realized that this year, that it's very easy to just be going through life and not even realizing the things that you're experiencing like week to week, month to month, because it all just flies by so quickly. So I really recommend starting with the reflection. Now in the reflection, I've got 7 questions. These have come from a range of different podcasts and videos and things that I've learned over the years and books and whatnot. So question number 1 is, what were your favorite moments of 2024? Now, when we ask this question, people can often go to their achievements, but I don't mean achievements. I don't mean something that you ticked a box. Like if you won an Olympic gold medal last year, right? But it wasn't one of your favorite moments, like you actually felt full of anxiety and unhappy, I don't want you to write that down. If you quit your job and you felt free and happy and that was a beautiful moment for you, write that down. So do you see the difference? This isn't about achievements or qualifications or tick boxes. This is about when you look back, one of the things that makes you feel amazing. Now, I was listening to this Mel Robbins podcast. I have edited them a bit. One thing she recommends doing, which I absolutely loved, was taking your phone to see all your pictures. So you open the Photos app and you scroll through all the pictures you've taken this year. Now, for me, this was so helpful because there were so many things that I'd completely forgotten about. For example, last year, I went to see a football match with my sister. My sister messaged me saying that she had these amazing tickets to this amazing football match that I should come and watch. And so we did. We went and watched this women's football match and it was so much fun because, you know, she's got kids, she's very busy. It's not often that we actually get to spend the time just 2 of us. And I absolutely loved it. And so that for me was a real highlight. And it really helped me in terms of looking forward to this year. I was like, oh, I hope I get more moments like that for me. So even though there were lots of other big achievements in my life that I could have written, that was a really important thing to write down, because what you want to live is a life full of happiness and joy. And sometimes I think that we can assume that achievements mean happiness and joy, but that's not always the case. So scroll back through your photos to remind yourself what you've done this year, because you've probably forgotten, and just see how things make you feel. Like there were some moments where for me, they were big achievements and they should have been down on this list, or I'd have thought they'd be down on this list as highlight. But the feeling that came up when I looked at the photos from those moments were feelings of anxiety and stress. And so I didn't write them down. Okay, so that's the first question. What are your favorite moments of 2024? Then that brings us on to question number 2. What are the hardest parts of the year for you? So what were some things that were really difficult moments? It's important to recognize these too, because number 1, to remember what you've made it through. Number 2, it kind of tells you what you really care about. You know, what was actually important. I had so many moments or so many things in my life last year that were really difficult, but I didn't actually write down here because they weren't the biggest sources of pain for me. You know, a financial difficulty or a work difficulty did not cause me half as much pain as a difficulty in a relationship. So that for me told me that, oh, I really treasure and prioritize relationships. That is a huge thing in my life, and that's what I want more of in 2024. This isn't just about listing everything you've made it through, although that is important to acknowledge as well. It's not just about balancing it out, good v bad. It's also what these things might tell you in terms of what causes you to feel pain or to not enjoy life, because sometimes we can assume it's one thing when it's actually a whole completely different other thing. The next question, which I absolutely love, is what did you learn about yourself in 2024? Try to be honest, because I found so many of mine were really positive. Doing this reflection with my boyfriend, and I wrote down that I learned that I'm funny. And that seems like such such a weird thing, right? You can't just say you're funny. But I think I'd always thought I was a very funny person growing up. And then there was a period of my life where I was just like, oh, the jokes aren't really landing. It's not really working out. And I think I was just in a period of transition where my circles were changing. I was growing and evolving. And I felt like this past year, I was like, oh yeah, no, we still got it. We're still kind of funny. And so whatever it is for you, whatever comes up for you that you've learned about yourself. Another thing I learned is that all the self-work and self-improvement work that I've been doing, it is by God's grace. I really believe it's working, you guys, because there were so many situations this year that I made it through, that I was able to hold my head high and walk through, that Sarah of 5 years ago would have crumbled like a rock. She would have been so upset. She would have been losing her cool. Whereas me, I was able to get through those situations. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still growth to come, but I am 100% going to acknowledge that I've really grown in terms of my ability to take responsibility, you know, my ability to respond, responsibility, rather than just reacting to the way people talk to me or what certain people say. I'm actually able to take a step back. I'm really, really grateful about that. So yeah, write down all the things that you learned about yourself, whether they were positive, whether they were negative, write them down here. Then the next question would be, what are you going to stop doing in the coming year? Now, this is a very popular business framework where people do stop, start, continue. So things that you want to stop doing, things that you want to start doing, things that you want to continue doing. So for example, for me, I wanted to stop scrolling on TikTok so much. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's actually become an addiction. That's something I wanted to stop. Something I want to start doing in the new year is more weight training. I kind of started running last year and it was really great. I think I did something like 70 days running in a row, something like that. Really great, but I just love weightlifting. I love weightlifting. I love being muscular and strong. I've tried being a long distance running girly so many times and all I miss is lifting heavy weights. So for me, I want to, restart really, because I've always done some kind of weightlifting, but really restart weightlifting in the new year and then continue. This last year, I invested so much time into my relationship with my boyfriend and I was like, I really want to continue that. It's been great. I absolutely want to continue prioritizing that. I love this framework because often when we come to New Year resolutions and New Year goals and planning the next year, we can be so mean to ourselves. We'll literally be like, oh, stop doing this, stop doing that, stop doing this. But actually the truth is there is so much that we do that is already really good. There is so much that we do that is great. And it's important to acknowledge that so that we can, number one, encourage ourselves and see that we are capable of living the life that we want to live and ensure that we don't lose sight of those things and let go of them. So I think if I had used this framework, stop, start, continue years ago, would I have stopped weightlifting for running as much? Probably not, because even though I wanted to start running, I never really wanted to stop weightlifting. But in my bid to start running, I gave my weightlifting time to running and I just didn't take the moment to clarify what I wanted to stop doing, start doing, and continue doing. And then the last question, question number 7, is write down one thing, just one thing you can do today to take the first step in the direction that you want to go. So just one thing. So for me, when I did this plan, it was writing out a schedule for the next day. That was the one thing that I could do. It's not about, you know, some huge thing like, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym and then I'm gonna go do a healthy food shop and I'm gonna do that. Oh, chill. One step, just take one step. Now, the reason for that is taking action can be so motivating. When we literally do that one movement, like we do something, it confirms to our brains that we are capable. So it's actually weirdly really encouraging because it's like, oh, I'm capable of doing the thing that I said I would do. Like, as much as I'm not a running girly, you guys, and doing the running streak that I did for however many 70 days, it wasn't for me long term. It was so encouraging because I realized, oh, I'm capable of that. I'm capable of every single day putting on my running trainers and running, no matter how long for. Some days it was 8 kilometers, other days it was 5, other days it was 1. But the truth is, I ran outdoors every single day for 70 something days until Christmas Eve, I think it was. I loved learning that I could do what I said I would do. Didn't love the running quite as much, but learning that I could say what I could do and getting the benefits of it was amazing. So when you do this one step, you might think, oh, it's not enough, but please just keep it to 1, because the main point of this is just taking that first step. And while you've got this motivation, while you've got this clarity, proving to yourself that you are capable of doing the things that you say you will do. So just write down one so it's not overwhelming, it's not too much, and do that one thing today. We then move on to the mind map. So for the mind map, you basically have an A4 sheet of paper or you can print it bigger if you like, write your name in the middle. Then we've got 7 different sections. Now these are 7 different sections that you can work through in order to start formulating your goals. Now the reason why I love to do it like this is because sometimes at different times or moments in our life, we can over or under prioritize different areas of our life, right? And life is not just about money. It's not just about relationships. It's not just about your physical body or your health or your looks. It is a huge combination of all of these things that work together for us to be able to love each other and love God. In my belief, that's what life is about. And so what I find really beneficial is to break it down into 7 different areas of your life. And that's what I've done for you on this document. I've written out the 7 different areas of your life that you can use. And what we'll do is we will write 3 goals for each area, maximum of 3. You can do less if you want, but 3 goals for each area. And when I say goals, I mean things that you would like to see in these areas of your life. So I like to view goals as input and output goals, right? So the input is what we can do, and the output is what we get from what we do. So for example, an output goal would be lose 10 kilograms, and the input goal for that might be go to the gym 3 times a week, meal prep once a week. So there are things that we do in order to get the outcome that we want. On this mind map, the way that I like to use it is you've got 7 different boxes, each representing a different area of your life. So these areas would be relationships, so friends and family, faith, so spirituality, finances, physical health, so all things to do with body, hair, skin care, all of that. Your career, number 5, passion hobbies, number 6, so things that you just love doing, things that fill you up. So this could be like travel, experiencing different cuisines and restaurants, whatever lights you up. It could be knitting, anything like that. Number 7 is love, the romantic area of your life. You can, if you want, combine these into one and do that under relationships, but I like to do friends and family separate to romantic love. Now, we've got 7 different boxes for this, and each box you'll see the numbers 1, 2, 3 on the template. I've just put the light on because it started getting a little bit dark. You've got these 7 different boxes, and then you've got the 3 numbers within the boxes, and that is because I don't like to have any more than 3 goals for each area of my life. Let me explain how to use this. How you use this is that in the inside of the box, you write the 3 output goals. So for example, for health, if you wanted to gain 5 kilograms, in the boxes, either 1, 2, 3, you'd put gain 5 kilograms. Then you draw a little arrow off the health box, and what you want to write there are your input goals, so the things that you can do, that you can commit to, that you can control in order to see your output goals achieved. So for example, gain 5 kg, it could be meal prep once a week on a Sunday. These have to be very specific, very realistic, very achievable, okay? The input goals shouldn't be some big thing, or they shouldn't be general. It can't be just like eat more. Eat more is not enough. You need detail, you need something that you can commit to, something that you can read with clarity and actually do. And so that's what we're gonna do for every other area of our life. For example, if one of my output goals in relationships is to have 3 close friendships this year, then I draw an arrow off the box and I write down an input goal. So that could be go to a event, a public social event once a month, and say hi to 1 person. That could be the input that will help me to see the output of these new relationships. Or it could be call a friend once a week. Out of the blue, call a friend once a week on a Sunday evening every week. That's one of my input goals. So those are the steps that I can take, because the truth is, when it comes to goals, the only way to control the output, so actually achieving the goal, is to control the input of what we do. So even in, I used to do athletics, I was an international athlete, and that taught me so much about goal setting, is that you can't worry about anyone else. You can't be hoping that everyone else is gonna run a bad race. You have to prepare your own race, and you have to bring your best, and the rest is up to the rest. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't help how fast Usain Bolt runs. I can only help how fast I run. If you have a goal to meet the one, you want to meet the love of your life this year, it's not beneficial to go around saying like, oh, there's no good men are trash, all of this, all of that. If you really believe that, why are you even having it as a goal? Why even do that? The reason that you want it is because you know deep down that it does exist, that there is someone out there who is amazing. You've heard about other people having amazing relationships. And so your output goal might be to meet the love of your life, but your input goal might be to stop watching amazing funny videos on how all men are trash. Like, just disengage with all man-hating content. Just disengage. And that's a way of kind of renewing your beliefs and renewing your mind on your beliefs about the men that exist. And then another input goal could be go out for dinner by myself after work once a week on like a Thursday. Go to a restaurant by yourself, see who you meet. You know, so steps towards the output goal, because while you can't control whether or not you meet the one this year, you can definitely control how much opportunity you create in order to see that goal come to pass. And so, yeah, I love using this mind map thing because I find it really helps to get a holistic idea of your life. Sometimes it's really easy to get wrapped up in, oh, you know, I'm gonna earn £100,000 this year. And you write that goal and you focus everything about your new year on that money without realizing that what made you happy last year wasn't really a paycheck. There are so many other things that you also want to put your energy into. So what I love about this mind map is that you can kind of step outside of it. You can step back and take a look at it and see your life as a whole. See what you want your life to look like this year as a whole. It helps you understand that there is a bit of give and take, right? If you're deciding to invest in your skincare routine this year, then how much money does that leave for other areas like outings or travel or other things? So by having this holistic overview, I think it's a much better way of being able to see your life as a whole. You know, for me as a Christian, it's really important that I do think about my faith and my spirituality and, you know, how I'm showing up in my church and worshiping God and serving my community. That's a huge thing. And so I don't want my goals to just get, you know, lost in, oh, get this many subscribers, get this many views, book this acting job, yada, yada. Because I'm so much more than that. I'm so much more than my accomplishments. This life that I live, to me, is an offering. I'm trying to make it an offering to God, an offering of service to how I can bless those around me. And those around me also includes myself, right? So I really, really recommend, if you don't do anything else, I really recommend this mind mapping way of getting like a holistic view of your life. You can do this at any time of year. It doesn't have to be at the new year. It could be at a new week. You can literally do it at any point. You can do it monthly, you can do it quarterly. So I highly recommend downloading this whole thing, keeping it saved so you can use it at any time that you need to use it. That brings me on to the third and final step, and that is to write out my affirmations. So I love affirmations because they help me to remember what I'm aiming for. They help me to remember what I'm aiming for, because I think it's really easy to just forget. You literally just get really busy and you forget that you had a certain goal, so we need to remember. So what I like to do is write out 7 affirmations in a very specific way that I find to be groundbreaking. So I write, I am so happy and grateful to God now that. You can write, I'm so happy and grateful now that. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna end that sentence with one of your goals, with each of your 7 biggest goals for the year. So we had 7 sections, right? So you can pick your biggest goal from each section, or you can combine. If you've got like 3 different goals, then you can say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I can run 5 kilometers in 25 minutes. I'm my goal weight and I love my body. Now, what that does is it requires you to imagine that you're actually going to achieve your goals. Because let's be honest, right? What is the point? Oh my gosh, gorgeous sunset loading tonight. Looks really pretty out there. Sorry, I got distracted. But what is the point of doing all of this if we don't even believe we can do it? And I think some people feel really silly. They'll be like, well, I can't, you know, I'm so happy and grateful to God now that I'm rich, or whatever it is. They just feel really stupid saying that. But then why are we writing down these things as goals if we're too scared to even say it out loud? So what I really recommend that you do is that you write out each of these affirmations. You complete these affirmations. So you've got the script there. You print it off. You fill out the end, adding in the summary of each area of your life, the summary of those goals. So your goals for health will be one affirmation. Your goals for finances will be another affirmation. And you stick this in an area in your room where you see it when you wake up. So this should be something you see as soon as you wake up. You wake up and you see your sheet of affirmations there. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna read this when you wake up. Read it out loud and just imagine that it's true. Just imagine that it actually happened, that you genuinely achieved your goals. Can you imagine what that would be like? Practice imagining that. And what this will do is, number one, it'll make you feel good, because even just imagining these things being in a reality feels good. It's like, oh my goodness, it's possible. And it will increase your level of faith. It will increase your level and ability to believe for these things. And I think faith is so important when it comes to setting goals, because we take action based on what we believe, right? Like, I'm sitting on this sofa because I believe it can take my weight. If I did not believe this sofa could take my weight, I would be hovering. My thighs would be cramping. I would not be sat on this sofa because I simply I wouldn't be believing it could take my weight. So you're not going to really go for a goal that you do not believe you can achieve. Whoa, whoa. I feel like I'm just believing what I just said. Oh my goodness, no wonder. We don't go for stuff sometimes. Sometimes we don't try because deep down we don't really think we can do it, and we're not stupid, you know. We're not stupid. We're not gonna waste our time or our money or our effort trying to do something that we don't believe we can do. So we need to increase our faith. And one way of doing that, increasing the belief that you can actually achieve your goals, is by saying this out loud and imagining. Use your imagination. Just imagine it's true. Imagine the goals that you've written have actually come true. Imagine, I'm so happy and grateful to God now that I've met the love of my life. Just imagine. Like, sometimes people are scared to hope, right? Because we've been let down. I know how that feels. And this is something I've done in some quite personal areas of my life, and I'm telling you, I've seen a change. I've seen a breakthrough when I've actually started praying and confessing with faith and taking the actions in faith that it is possible and that things can change. That is my New Year's process. That is how I learn and try to start the new year off with clarity, with focus, with gratitude for all that God is doing, and with direction. You know, it's kind of like if you were setting off on a big journey. The journey is a long one. You have to look at the directions. You can't just say, oh yeah, I set a direction 5 years ago. No, you've got to have checkpoints. You've got to be looking at this compass. You've got to know where you're going in order to get there. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful. I hope that it's encouraged you, and I really hope that you're able to use these questions, use these tools in order to make 2025 a beautiful year for you, a year that you can be proud of, the year that you can pick up the pen and write the story of your life. So yeah, I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day whenever, wherever you are. Leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of this video, and give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more. I love you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.